Hey everybody, what's going on? P69 1000 here. Also, my name's Eli. I don't know if I've ever told you guys that. My name's Eli. You can call me Eli if you want. Yeah, I want to lost my train of thought. I want to do sorry, my hair's kind of a mess. I just kind of got up a little while ago and it probably looks pretty crazy, but I just got up a little while ago and today's my birthday. I'm 22. Awesome. I got a couple requests from my last video. One was the Slit-Mouthed woman, so I'm going to do that one first. I'm also going to be doing the Goatman and the Mothman today. I promised you guys I was going to do the Mothman a long time ago, and I never really got around to it, so today's the day. So welcome back to the Monsters and Legends series, where we're not afraid to fight the monsters and tackle the legends. I know that was good, wasn't it? That was really good. I know y'all are sitting there like, man, that was good. Shoot, you know, that was pretty good, man. All right. All right now. All right. Hopefully y'all can see that. That is the Slit-Mouthed woman. And yeah. Alright then, let's get started. The modern urban legend of the Slit-Mouthed woman starts out like this. Children walking alone at night may encounter a woman wearing a surgical mask. This is not an unusual sight in Japan, as people wear them to protect themselves from colds or other sickness. The woman will stop the child and ask, "Am I beautiful?" If the child answers no, they are killed with a pair of scissors, which the woman carries. If they answer yes, the woman pulls away the mask, revealing that her mouth is slit from ear to ear, and asks, "Even like this?" And if the child answers no, he or she will be cut in half. If he or she answers yes, then she will slit his or her mouth like hers. Not a very promising prospect there. So, how would you get away from something like this? Ways to escape. When the legend reappeared in the 1970s, rumors of ways to escape also emerged. When she asks you, you must say that, when she asks you if she is pretty, you must say that she is pretty 2 times in a row, so that she will become confused and her victim can escape while she is lost in thought. Some sources say you can also confuse her by answering their question rather yes or no. You are average. Or by saying you are average. Unsure of what to do, she will give you enough time to escape. So in other words, if you don't answer her question, and just if you don't say yes or no at all, and you just say, you're average, she's going to be kind of like, and give you time to get away. Another escape route is to tell her you have a previous engagement. She will pardon her manners and excuse herself from your presence. In some variations of the tale, she can be distracted by throwing fruit or other sweets at her, which she will pick up, thus giving the victim a chance to run. One other way is to ask her if she thinks you are pretty. She will also become confused and you will have a chance to leave. So she's kind of like a Pokemon on, like creepy, monstrous steroids. Confuse her and you'll have the chance to get out of there. If any of you have ever played Pokemon, I'm sure you got that reference, but alright. Our next little fun adventure here is going to be the Goatman. But before I start on the Goatman, let's talk about the Slit-Mouthed woman for a minute. Now, could she be real? Maybe. I mean, it's doubtful though. It sounds like it's one of those stories created to keep kids off the streets, especially at night. But I could be wrong. You know, but you have to look, Japan, you know, they, everyone there, it's very common for everyone to be wearing surgical masks. So that would be a scary prospect, you know, knowing that any one of those women could be the Slit-Mouthed woman. Basically, I think it's just, like I said, a story to keep people off the street, kids off the street. But I could be wrong. I mean, it could be real. You never know. Alright, the Goatman, if any of you know, is from Maryland. Now, the Goatman is half man, half goat, reportedly, and he supposedly was, his DNA was mutated by a evil doctor, a mad genius, whatever. Now, usually I just go ahead and tell you the legend of the Goatman, but in this case, it seems that he is under suspicion of a murder. The Goatman. So I'm going to be reading the article to you, why he's suspected of murdering 2 people, and we'll take it from there. I thought it was a joke. It's not. Alright, incident reopens the case of the Goatman. Disappearance of local teens is at the heart of decade-long urban legend, by Chris Connor. What some have called the Goatman saga continues as a group of paranormal investigators have obtained permission to investigate a house that they believe to have once been the estate of Dr. Stephen Fletcher, the infamous scientist who allegedly created the Maryland Goatman. The organization became aware of the property after the parents of a teenage girl, I don't really know if I want to release her name. I'll just say her first name, Rebecca, whose disappearance made headlines in December of 2010. I didn't want to release the name, and then, you know, I don't know. I don't know if the family wants the name out there or what, so I'm just not going to, you know, say the last name. Okay, I'm sorry. Whose disappearance made headlines in December of 2010. Okay, I'm sorry. Wow, I went off on that little speech there, and I kind of got off on my reading. Contacted them asking for any help in finding their daughter. Rebecca was a bright young girl who was in her junior high school year. She produced a video blog series on the internet called The Lotes Inquiry, and it was very popular with over 1 million views during each episode. Wow. Rebecca would venture into an old abandoned buildings and dark wooden areas looking for unknown or unexplained. Her parents encouraged her efforts as they thought she might make a name for herself in the world. She studied and researched everything from ghosts and paranormal activity to cults and crypts. Rebecca's latest investigation revolved around the urban legend known as the Goatman of Prince George County. After months of research into the legend, she stumbled upon some information which led her to believe that she had discovered the actual place where the Goatman had been created. According to the records filed with the M-NCPPC, which is the Maryland National Capital Parks and Planning Commission, and a Freedom of Information Act request, she discovered that the property, now owned by the government, used to belong to a doctor by the name of Stephen Fletcher. After months of investigation, her disappearance, and searching the property and the immediate area, the local authorities turned up nothing about Rebecca's location. So her parents contacted MIPCE in hopes that they might be able to do a better job at finding their daughter. Upon taking the case, the directors of MIPCE obtained, which is the name, by the way, of the Paranormal Investigation Squad, obtained permission to search and perform a paranormal investigation on the estate, from the MCPPC, which currently owns the property. MIPCE did a paranormal review of the site, and had some help from a paranormal medium. After a complete review of the property, the medium was convinced that Rebecca was still alive, but Mita physically trapped somewhere in the dark recesses of the house. Wow. She suggested that MIPCE do an unorthodox method to find the missing teen. Okay, I'm going to cut this video off for just a second. I'm just going to go ahead and say, if I was up there looking for her, which by the way I do, I am involved in a paranormal elimination and investigation squad. If I was up there looking for her and a medium told me that she might be alive in the house, I'm sorry, I might go to jail, I might be arrested, but you know, I would bust the windows in that house and go in there and look for her. I mean, I'm sorry, I might get arrested for destruction of private property, and that's fine with me. As long as I save somebody's life, come arrest me, you know, whatever, I don't really care. I would gladly spend a couple days in jail if I saved somebody's life. You know, I'm sorry, but anyway. Let's see, where was okay, so she suggested they do an unorthodox search for finding the missing teen. She insisted that the key to finding Rebecca was to perform a massive paranormal investigation. This would require MIPCE opening the Fletcher Manor to the general public and having them tour the property as part of the paranormal investigation team. The medium is convinced that this will definitely help contact the spirits needed to locate Rebecca in another world and bring her home to her family once and for all. Okay, well, when it ended the sentence, it sounded like they said that her spirit was in there. But did it not say earlier that she was alive? Let me read that sentence one more time. After a complete review of the property, the medium was convinced that Rebecca was still alive. So why would why would you wait? Why in the world would you wait and be like, oh, nope, we're gonna have to go in there and look for spirits? Yeah, I mean, we can't go in there and look for her body, or, you know, her living, you know, she might be alive. We've got to look for spirits. I mean, I would love to go in there and look for spirits myself, don't get me wrong, but if I thought somebody was alive in there, trapped in there, I'd be busting in there and getting them out. Now, I tell you what this seems like to me. It seems like one of those old-fashioned 90s urban legends, how it starts out. Did you notice the report and, you know, all that? There was a lot of fake emails and fake reports going around in the 90s of modern day urban legends. Now, I'm not saying that's what this is. I don't know personally if she's a real person or not. I don't know personally if that YouTube channel that was mentioned is real. I don't know. I'm going to do some investigating. I'm going to look it up. And I might take my team and go to Maryland and do a own personal investigation. So, and if I do, you guys will be coming with me. This camera is coming with me. We might be going to Maryland. Okay? Urban Legends on the Streets. That's what we'll call it. Or no, not Urban Legends. Monsters and Legends Investigation Team. Alright. So that was the Goatman. And I'll let you know more about the Monsters and Legends Investigation Team later. Something that me and my friends are seriously discussing. We're wanting to go out to these locations. Sorry, I keep rotating the camera. We're wanting to go out to these locations and these stories that I read about and do our own investigation. Take the camera, take you guys with us. Investigate some of these so-called witnesses that are still alive. You know, record the places where this happened. We want to do all of that. We want to do a lot of that, and so there might be some serious investigation coming to this channel on the paranormal variety. So look forward to that. You know, we're going to call it Monsters and Legends Investigation Team. So might go well. I don't know. And another legend, which is actually really close to me, which I would like to go check out, is what I'm going to do next, and that is the Mothman. Let's see if I can find the story over here. Okay. I might have a little trouble reading this because, as you can see, it's yellow text on a black background. So, yeah. But I'm going to try my best to get through this. Alright. Because, like I said, it might take me a little bit because I can't really see it, but kind of hard, makes it hard to see, but I'll be reading it. Let's see. Alright, the state of West Virginia has played home to one of the most bizarre creatures ever reported. The unusual, but by no means unique, Mothman. The first sighting came in the early 1960s. A woman was driving along Route 2 near the Ohio River with her father. As she neared the chief cornstalk hunting grounds, a large man-shaped figure walked out onto the road. As the woman slowed her car, the figure spread two large wings and took off. Ironically, the witnesses did not report the incident. Who would believe us anyway, they said. The first sighting was received publicly, though there was one in 1965, a woman living near the Ohio River related how her son had told her one day of seeing an angel, quote, that was a quote from him, outside. She thought nothing more of it until about a year later. In the summer of 1966, a doctor's wife in the same general area said that she had seen a 6-foot-long thing resembling a giant butterfly. On November 12th, 5 grave diggers, how appropriate a profession was what the little quotation marks say, saw something which looked like a brown human being, which was their quote, fly out of the trees near where they were working. One of the witnesses, Kenneth Duncan, said that they watched the creature for almost a minute. On the 14th of the month, Salem resident Noel Patridge saw 2 red objects hovering above a field. Her German Shepherd, named Bandit, took off into the field and was never seen again. Wow. I would say that thing became dinner. The next night, Mr. and Mrs. Roger Scarberry and Mr. and Mrs. Steve Malotti were driving near the TNT area near the town of Point Pleasant. A tall figure stood by the side of the road, and their quote is, "It was shaped like a man, but bigger," said Mr. Scarberry. Maybe 6.5 or 7 feet tall, and it had big wings folded against its back. His wife commented on its huge red eyes, like automobile reflectors, she said. Mr. Scarberry, who was driving, took off in his car at better than 100 miles per hour, which is his quote. The figure spread its wings and flew after the car. It didn't seem to flap its wings at all, and its wingspan was over 10 feet. They said that it made a squeaking sound like a big mouse. The 4 also noted that a dead dog had been lying near the side of the road, but was gone when they returned. Why would you return, first of all? Unless you got weapons, you know. I'm sorry, but if I saw something like that standing in the road, I'm not going to come back unless I have a machine gun. They went to the offices of the Manson County Sheriff and reported their sighting. Deputy Millard Holsted, I'm sorry, I think I probably mispronounced that name, returned to the TNT area with the 4 and said that as he passed the spot where they had initially seen the figure, his police radio made a sound similar to a speeding up record. The TNT area, which seemed to be a sort of home for the Mothman, as it was quickly dubbed by the press, is a large tract of land. Small concrete igloos dot the landscape, used during World War II to store ammunition. The TNT area is adjacent to the 2,500-acre McClintock Wildlife Station. The entire area is covered with dense forest, steep hills, and riddled with tunnels. The area is also sparsely populated. One of the families living in the area is that of Ralph Thomas. On the 16th, at about 9 o'clock p.m., Mr. and Mrs. Raymond Wamsley, I guess is how you pronounce it. Anyway, Miss Michella Bennett and Miss Bennett's daughter, Tina, were visiting the Thompsons. On the way there, they watched a red light which circled the TNT area. When the car pulled up in front of Thomas, it disturbed something. It seems as if it had been lying down. It rose up slowly from the ground, a big gray thing, bigger than a man, with terrible glowing red eyes. The witnesses ran to the Thomas home, where they were let in by the three children. The figure shuffled along behind them, coming onto the porch and looking through the window. Wow. Mr. Wamsley called the police, but the thing had, of course, vanished by the time they arrived. Miss Bennett, who lives at the edge of Point Pleasant, says that she heard the creature on other occasions. She describes the sound it makes as like a woman screaming. And then it goes on. Paul Yoder also saw it and said that it sounded like a helicopter. I'm paraphrasing, but Tom Urey was driving along Route 62 near the TNT area on the morning of November 25th. He saw a large grayish figure standing in the field. Then it spread two large wings, lifted straight into the air, and flew over Urey's car at an altitude, 3 telephone poles high, probably about 50 or 60 feet. The next day, Mr. Ruth Forrest of St. Albans said the creature was standing in her yard near her porch. Her description tallies with West's. The same day, people in Loa, Ohio, saw several large birds flying over Cat's Creek. The three witnesses followed the birds in their car. Why you would do that, I don't know. And said that they were, quote, dark brown with some light flakes. Their breasts were gray, and they had 5 or 6 inch bills, straight, not curved, like those of hawks or vultures, unquote. The birds seemed to have reddish heads. What did that have to do with anything? Anyway, and still more sightings came. On November 27th, on the way home from church, Connie Carpenter saw a grayish figure standing on the golf course near Manson. The creature took off and flew straight towards her car. She was one of the few who actually saw the creature's face, although her description, quote, it was horrible, unquote, doesn't help much. Another sighting took place the same night in St. Albans, which 2 girls saw the creature near a junkyard. The creature flew after them. On December 4th, 5 pilots, sorry, it just goes on and on, at the Galapagos, Ohio airport, saw some sort of a giant bird flying about 70 miles per hour. Its wings weren't moving, and unlike other witnesses, they commented on a long neck. Okay. Alright. And then it goes on, and in late 1966, when the Mothman reports started to die down, other phenomena stirred up the area. Several UFOs were seen near Point Pleasant. Animals were mutilated in surrounding areas, and Mothman witnessed reported poltergeist and, quote, men in black, unquote, phenomena. And I've covered the men in black before, you guys know about them. This has led many a researcher to speculate on a connection between Mothman and UFOs, which I don't really believe that, but I'll get into that in a minute. But no discussion of the Mothman phenomena would be... Oh, gosh. That freaked me out. Sorry, there was a crazy bird flying beside my window. But no discussion of the Mothman phenomena would be completely without recounting the story of the Silver Bridge. On the evening of December 15th, 1967, the Silver Bridge which crossed the Ohio River at Point Pleasant, collapsed in rush hour traffic. Over 46 cars fell into the river. It was the biggest disaster to ever hit Point Pleasant. Of course, it was only a matter of time before people began to connect the disasters with the Mothman sightings. Which was Mothman some sort of warning sign of impending danger? Was the entire saga somehow connected with UFOs seen in the area? As a final postscript, New Haven farmer Ernest Adkins reported something very odd indeed. In April of 1969, good year, he found his 11-week-old beagle lying dead in his front yard. Quote, "There was no evidence the dog died in a fight," unquote, Atkins said. What made it strange was the fact that the dog's chest was chewed open and its heart was laying outside. That's horrible. Not surprisingly, most scientists scoffed at this theory. They said it was probably just some normal kind of bird. Yeah, because I know plenty of normal 7-foot tall birds with red eyes. Yeah, that's completely normal. Yeah. Anyway, they said it was probably just some kind of a normal bird. The favored culprit was a sandhill crane. These large birds have reddish patches on their heads, accounting for the Mothman's red eyes, and a large specimen which would reach roughly the size attributed to the Mothman. I don't think so, because I've seen I've seen sandhill cranes, folks. I've seen pictures of them before. They're not 7 foot tall. Okay. Anyway, in July of 1967, several boys found a large vulture near New Haven. I'm pretty sure, by the way, I've seen a sandhill crane. I could be wrong, but I've seen... I'll research it, but I am pretty sure they are not 7 foot tall. Let's see, a farmer shot a rare bird indeed. An architect snow owl. The owl was 2 feet tall and had a 5-foot wingspan. Once again, 2 feet tall, not really helping anybody. Alright, so now we've heard all this. We know all this. I've covered it all. First of all, let me just go ahead and say that there is no way, in my mind at least, that UFOs were connected to the Owlman. First of all, I don't believe UFOs are real. I do believe that the Owlman could be part of a, I don't know, maybe a government experiment, maybe gene manipulation, maybe radiation. Maybe, you know, just mixed in with radiation or chemicals, anything. Could be any number of events. But it has nothing to do with UFOs. I believe UFOs are government technology. Area 51 is government secret technology. Has nothing to do with UFOs or little green men. The men in black are a real phenomenon. Basically, they are federal thugs. They're government thugs. They come and harass people that have seen government experiments, government technology, government whatever, and they come tell them to be quiet about it. Which in America, you don't do that because we have freedom of speech. You can say what you want to say. So don't ever be intimidated by thugs like that. But anyway, that's this Monsters and Legends series episode. Hope you enjoyed it, and there'll be plenty more to come. I'm trying to find more monsters, so if there's something else you'd like to see, please leave me a message, and I'll be glad to go over that. Peace, love. I love you all. Have a great day.